This looks normal, right? I'm not too small, right? Okay. So we're going to be talking about John 19:28, verse 28. Later, knowing that everything had now been finished, and so that scripture would be fulfilled, Jesus said, "I am thirsty." So Jesus' words, "I thirst," leads to the fulfillment of the scripture. What did Jesus fulfill by making this statement? Well, at the Last Supper, Jesus took the cup and said, "This is my blood of the new covenant." Elsewhere in the Bible, when James and John asked Jesus if they could sit at his right hand and his left hand when he came into the kingdom, Jesus replied, "Are you able to drink the cup that I am about to drink?" Also in John 18:11, Jesus was arrested and Peter drew the sword, but Jesus told him, "Put your sword back into its sheath. Am I not to drink the cup that the Father has given me?" So in these scenarios, they all refer to a cup. And this cup, it suggests that Jesus used it as a metaphor of drinking, as a way of describing the suffering he would endure on the cross. Jesus' words, "I thirst," was to show his most willingness and eagerness to drink the cup of suffering and sin and hate. Given that he was nearing the end, perhaps he was pointing to the fact that the cup was nearly empty and was about to accomplish what God wanted, and that was to restore the broken relationship between us and God. And so Jesus' thirst for God and his will brought the greatest gift to mankind, and that was our salvation. It was his thirst for the Father that drove him to complete God's plan, and that allowed this all to happen. But for us, what does this mean? For me, I feel like in the same way we humans should follow his example. We should show that same thirst and that motivation to strive to live with Jesus, within Jesus, and in his ways, and show him that same passion and dedication for him, just the way that Jesus had that thirst for God. So we should thirst for the right thing, and that right thing, we should thirst for Jesus. Thank you.
So I'm gonna just continue from what Kat was just saying, how we should thirst for the right thing, which is Jesus. Now, these words of Jesus saying, "I thirst," goes back to the story of the woman at the well. Does everyone remember that story? No? The woman at the well said that, well, Jesus knew, being God, knowing everything, he said that you have 5 husbands. And when we hear that, we think, man, that's bad. But the message that we get from that is she didn't even get enough from the one husband that she had to go for more. So the reason why it links to the Samaritan woman who had 5 husbands is the fact that we are told that she is not satisfied from the first, second, or third, or fourth, or even the current husband. Now, Jesus said in that story, he named himself the water of life. He said, "Those who drink from this water will be thirsty again, but those who drink from me will never be thirsty again." And I think, Jesus on the cross, it shows, like how we've had previous messages, how Jesus on the cross was his human side. So that was the physical need, the physical thirst. In terms of spiritual thirst, well, firstly, the physical thirst is showing that we need water to survive. We need the drink, we need the thirst in order to keep ourselves alive. That is a basic human need physically that we all need to stay alive. And Jesus uses other metaphorical concepts like him being the bread of life. Like at the Last Supper, he said, eat this bread or drink this wine, which was this bread is my body or this wine is my blood. And you think that's really weird, it's kind of gross, but God is really, Jesus here is trying to say that eating or drinking from Christ is what we need. The literal bread or the literal wine is symbolic of a way for him to say to us that the basic human need of food and drink is what we need to survive, and therefore God is what we need in order to live. But it's not just to live, because man does not live on bread alone. Because what we need is Jesus Christ, that we need to thirst for him. And Jesus was thirsty on the cross so that he could satisfy all of our thirst. That through his thirst, we have got freedom, we have found significance and overall forgiveness. And I think what's really important is there's this verse in Colossians 3 verse 2. It says, set your mind on the things above and not on earthly things, because I think as humans, if you want to learn from the scripture as humans, that we are constantly thirsty for the wrong things. And as Katrina said before, that we should thirst for the right thing, which is Jesus Christ, because we are thirsting for things of this earth that will never, ever satisfy us. And I don't know what that means to you on a personal level, whether that means in a relationship, you're still not getting enough, maybe you're thirsting for success. Like for me personally, I always thirst for success. I always look for succeeding in something. But then once I find out that I succeeded in something, a few days later, it kind of just dies down, and then it holds no significance to me. And we wonder why that is. We wonder why we're not full, why we are constantly thirsting. It's because we are constantly filling ourselves with the earthly junk that does not satisfy us in our needs. So those who drink from this water will be thirsty, but all those who drink from me will never be thirsty again. And I think that is it.